What's up, everyone? Before we get into this episode with Danny today, we just want to let you know that this was actually recorded 6 months ago when Danny was in town in Chicago for his private screening of his film, I Think I'm Sick.
That's why we look different.
Yeah.
Right here versus then, with this hair versus that hair.
Yeah, very different, but quality exactly the same. Danny was absolutely stellar as a guest in that episode. We talk about the whole context for it and why we were interviewing him in the first place and how we did it. And it involves a red carpet, which you're going to hear about in a little bit. It was very fun. We had a great time.
Yeah. First time we've done triple camera.
Triple camera, live audience, kind of. We had like sort 10 people in the room. It's
great.
It was such a fun time. Just finished editing the episode. So pumped to share it with you now. Just wanted to let you know before you get into it. So
enjoy. I guess we're going to do a live podcast with everyone in the room.
It's going to be great. Yeah.
Should we start out with the story of how I was ragging you guys for not inviting me back?
Yeah, let's go there.
I think that's a really good way to start things off, actually.
Contextually, too, let's just real quick say why we're all wearing lays.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We're doing a private screening of my film, I Think I'm Sick, in Chicago. And we have a fellow supporter and backer of the project here. He goes by Zhao, Daniel. Which one?
Which one do you prefer?
Daniel? Sweet. I like Daniel because it's kind of my name. It is my name. He flew all the way from Hawaii, beautiful Hawaii. It's like my favorite song ever. And came with these beautiful lays. Are they lays, technically? Yeah. Say it again. Kukui nuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we're decked out, looking fabulous. All thanks to him.
I feel so cool now. This is amazing. This
Yeah.
is so kind.
It is.
It really is.
I didn't realize you guys were coming all the way from Hawaii. Yeah, it's so cool.
Thanks for being here, guys. Really appreciate it.
And I guess the last episode we released was 14 people in this set. So I guess we've kind of done a live podcast.
We've kind of done a live podcast. That was episode 49 with Beers and Cameras, folks, which was really fun.
But Creative Club's in the house.
Yeah.
We have Carson and Pat over here.
Yeah.
Part of Danny's crew.
From D-Money's crew.
Yeah. D-Money.
Do we have to call you D-Money for the interview now?
You might as well. Or D-Bone. Whatever one.
I prefer Money, I think.
Whatever one's flown off the tongue today, you just go with it.
Okay.
We already got Daniel in the house, so we might as well switch mine up.
He gets Daniel for the day, so we have to call
Daniel,
you something
so we
else.
go D-Bone.
All right, D-Bone.
Yeah, you just go with D-Bone and Money Goat.
Let's start off with what were you saying to us yesterday? What were you saying to me in the car ride from the airport?
So the first time I was on this podcast, I was living on Maui, and you guys, I remember you specifically saying, like, can't wait to have you back. And it's been 2 years. You've gone through a few seasons, and I'm just still waiting for my phone to call to have me back. And I was ragging on you guys a little bit when you picked us up from the airport and that dinner when we were getting some Chicago deep dish at Lou's. Mm-hmm. And then we came over to the studio. You're like, hey, open the door, like lead yourself into the studio. And I was like, I guess it's like your studio, like you should be leading. But I opened the door and you guys had like a red carpet and paparazzi laid out directing us towards this beautiful set that you have for Rally Caps now that I guess you've been planning for a couple months. So I feel very salty right now that you guys are just the kindest people in the world. And I was just like thinking of the worst of you. You know? So this is my public apology.
Good.
And thank you for
I
having
forgive
me.
you. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I'm working on myself, trying to grow.
Good.
See the progress happening
Already
in real
on
time.
I think
man.
I'm
This is
sick.
awesome.
Apology tour.
Yeah, I think I'm sick of apology tour. Just all the people I've wronged in my life.
What's funny about the
think
first
I'm
episode?
sorry, actually.
What's funny about the first episode is we had been asking guests to film.
Yeah.
And I think when you jumped on, you were just like on a webcam, and I was like, hey. Yeah. So like, is there like any chance you could like set up your camera? And you were like,
oh yeah, sure.
sure. I'm like, okay.
Dude, I was looking tan, had the hair grown out.
You were like, you had a cut
cut
off.
off, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Cut
It was
off
so high
scene, you
in
had an
my
ice
office.
pack strapped to your stomach or something.
Well, we had no air conditioning, and come from the East Coast, I had that like that thicker skin for cold weather.
Yeah, man.
Ready to go. So
Yep.
yeah, I was sweating
pack.
bricks. I'm feeling good. Chicago's cold.
Good.
I got a
Yeah.
sweatshirt on, jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're picking up the jeans, but they're on. So what's up with you guys? What's going on? I know you got your beautiful studio.
Yeah.
Things are great.
Things are very good right now.
You got your
yeah.
doc, which you still haven't shown me the trailer for.
This is so you to just like start interviewing
Totally
us.
deflect.
Just
Not
like-
talk about your film.
Well, I'm sick of talking about my movie. Like, I want to know what's going on with you guys.
Well, I think, let me be serious for a second. Whenever you meet someone, you're always like immediately like, let me hear about you. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's a
my
really,
life's boring.
okay. But yeah, sure. We'll go with that. But yeah, I've just noticed that over the few years we've known each other now, and it's a really unique quality.
Thanks,
and
man.
yeah, I think a lot of people love you because of that.
Thanks.
And I'd like to formally thank you for doing that. Yesterday we drove by my house and you're like, I want to see your house. I want to meet your family.
Yeah.
And it's just so sweet, man.
Eric has the most beautiful family I've
Thanks,
ever
dude.
seen in my life. Like 4 beautiful, energetic kids. Your wife is amazing, welcoming into the house. The kids were screaming, and she had like the most patient smile I've ever seen in my life.
Our poster just fell. Dang it.
Hey, might as well just take it down.
No, I'm putting it back up. The freaking sticky tack didn't work. That's just gonna keep being an ongoing thing.
Just bubble gum holding this thing
And
up.
this,
Can we get 2 pieces of?
That's feeling good.
just put some tape on it.
Yeah.
That should be fine.
Never feeling good.
We'll see. It'll just be funny when it happens.
We
It'll
th- we
it'll
thought-
be during a serious
Yeah,
moment.
we thought printer paper would really bring out like the texture of the beautiful images that you guys created for the film.
For sure.
You know,
And the color in your eyes.
black and white too.
Yeah, I'd honestly love to see the movie in black and white. I feel like it would have a different tone.
Yeah.
Well, let's not dive into the movie yet. No
Okay.
one wants to hear about that.
I'm sure no one is listening to hear
no
about
one wants.
Since we had, so when we first did the podcast, I was living on Maui.
Yeah.
And that was like our first time talking and meeting. And then since then, you guys have photographed our wedding, Anna and I's
Yeah.
wedding. And
Yeah.
I will honestly say, like, I would never have wanted 2 people to shoot our wedding other than you 2. Like, what a joy. Like,
man.
seeing you guys dancing with your cameras, jumping up and down the Mr. Brightside, just like free firing whatever shots. Like, I don't even, how many shots did you take? Like,
many.
A lot.
yeah, just like
A lot.
machine
6,000?
gunning
Yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone kept coming up to me and saying, like, your photographers were so sick.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's so sweet.
I was like, I know, yeah. So only the best for our wedding. Yeah. Even Sansa was like, yeah, those guys, they captured some good shots of Sansa. So
Dude, that was a high priority going into the day.
it was. I mean,
Yeah.
me and Anna talked to you guys. We're like, honestly, if you get a handful of good shots of Sansa, we're good.
Yeah.
That's all that
Coming
matters.
down the aisle.
Yeah. Yep.
The shots of her like underneath Anna's dress
Oh
when
my
she came
gosh.
back
Yeah.
were so funny.
The best of the day, honestly.
yeah.
When you finally got a hand on her and you were both looking up at Anna together, it was like the cutest moment.
Sansa's ears looked like so dopey and just like smiling up at like her
The way
beautiful
she
mother.
reacted as she came down the aisle and like when she got up there was insane.
Yeah.
Just like it was full chaos for like a solid
but
30
we,
seconds.
We would want it no other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that was the
Yeah.
best moment for us. Like we just wanted to see Sansa at the wedding.
Yeah. How do you attend a wedding, Sansa? Let's
Yeah.
play it out real quick. No, it was
And
awesome.
she was just munching on grass the whole ceremony.
having the time of her
Yeah, I'm
life.
like trying to like nudge her, like, yeah, chill out, stop eating the grass. She's just,
Okay, it's turned into an ASMR episode now. Okay, we're doing good. We are.
Yeah.
We have this studio now. It's an
Yeah.
extension of downstairs because downstairs got too busy, and we got downstairs because the previous studio got too busy. So
Yeah.
I think we're on an upward trajectory.
definitely. You guys have
Evolution of
definitely
busy.
grown in numbers. You have like the whole
Yeah.
creative club now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's probably doubled from the original like 5 or 6 of us.
Do you guys
that
have
kinda
like a
ran
logo
things.
and stuff yet?
No,
It's
We don't,
shocking.
I
actually.
know we
Yeah.
need to,
We do need to do something for that.
Everything else has been so thought out.
and then we don't have
Yeah,
any
you
branding.
don't have merch.
I
Like I
know.
would walk
I
out of here
know.
with a t-shirt. $25, all yours. Like that's a steal.
What about 30?
30?
Well, Steve,
Depends on the fabric.
organic cotton?
Yeah, is that Pico cotton? I think Cuts does.
Are you doing your cuts at you?
Honestly, I haven't done a Cuts ad in like years. Yeah. I'm actually wearing it now. It's funny because I'm not sponsored by them anymore. Yeah.
But you still love it.
I do still wear their stuff.
Yeah.
It is nice product.
Looks good.
So enjoy your free product placement, guys.
Right down the barrel of the lens.
Yeah. Staring at it.
Oh
No,
man.
yeah, glad to hear. And you still have to show me the trailer for the doc that you're doing with Joe.
Yep.
It looks amazing just from what I've seen, all the shots.
Thanks, man.
The cinematography looks beautiful.
Thanks, man.
I'm sure the story itself of what you guys were explaining to me at dinner sounds so thoughtful and so beautiful. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't wait to see it.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's gonna be amazing. Like, knowing you guys, like, this is your first feature doc too, right?
Yeah. Feature anything. Yeah.
It's hard, right?
So hard.
Yeah. It's grueling, honestly. Just
Yeah.
like putting a story together, like sitting in Premiere.
And you probably don't really even have the story because you said you haven't started fully editing.
Yeah. Well,
We have
we have Bones,
Okay.
and then next week we do our final trip with final interviews.
Yeah.
Which will kind of tie that thread
Gotcha.
together.
Did you start putting the bones and skeleton together and then go back and be like, all right, we need this from the interview?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
more or
best way
less.
to do it.
Yeah. It is kind of interesting because with doc work, it almost feels like the story is like evolving in real time, even as we've already shot stuff in past. So kind of figuring out what the story looks like and letting it evolve and letting it breathe a little bit more, and then trying to go back and find the right things, the right moments, the right things that people said, like whatever it is, just kind of carry that story along. It's interesting.
It evolved from something like
Yeah.
that was up here, right?
Yeah.
Like you just
Yeah.
wanted to document like his marathon and
Right.
like getting a better performance, and it just kind of went deeper and deeper. And the more you got to know this human being that so many people in our niche like admire and like just see his photos, and you guys are really starting to like see what's underneath the iceberg. It's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, honestly. I think it went from something that was going to be really cool, but almost a little more superficial, to something that feels a lot more emotionally intense and rewarding.
And
Yeah.
we'll connect with a lot more people for
Yeah,
sure.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I just realized like it's weird to like two of us sitting in the room making a feature, but being YouTubers first
Yeah.
is super interesting.
We're both doing our feature film right now. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I think without like our audiences and platforms that we have, we wouldn't really be able to make those things.
Yeah.
It's just like access to different things, like, and B, just knowing that you have a place to share it with and people to share it with is so much more motivation going into it.
Yeah.
Like even if, we end up not getting distribution, we don't get into major film festivals or whatever it is, like I know I can just share it with my audience and like that's the dream, right? Like to create a movie and share your story that you created with people.
Yeah.
So that was just, so much motivation to keep you going, because it is the hardest thing that you'll ever do in your life.
No, absolutely.
And so time consuming. I don't know how people get through to their first one without like knowing that there's people on the other side who are going to watch it. Like,
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
it's so hard. So I think without that, there's no way I would have even attempted.
Did you always have the dream of wanting to make a feature?
I think when I first picked up a camera, it was, and then that quickly dwindled away because I got so caught up in doing the cinematography aspects of things and like wanted to be like a super rad DP and like just got really lost in like learning how to like do the traditional side of commercial filmmaking and documentary filmmaking. Never thought like I'd want to switch over to like writing and directing, but like the more I dug into that avenue, the more I was working with like other directors and like writers and creative agencies. I was like, kind of feel like my ideas might be a little better.
Yeah.
And like what better way to figure that out than to put it to its test. And I had the YouTube channel developing, decided to kind of leave that traditional cinematography route behind, moved to Maui, focused on my YouTube channel full time, where I was really starting to write and direct and like make my own Danny Gevirtz projects for the first time that were just like truly my personality injected into video content. And I think that was where I was like, okay, I can do this. Like I'm writing something big. I want to make something that like not only some like my YouTube subscribers would enjoy, like filmmakers and like that subset of people. I want to make something that my family, like my friends and people who don't care about what camera I'm using could sit down on a couch with their family and just sit there and escape from reality for an hour, 45 minutes. And at the end be like, my friend Danny made that. And I thought that would be like the coolest experience, and kind of that first initial idea of like, I want to pick up a camera and make a movie, and got to that point. So sat down for months, just wrote this thing, which was like the weirdest experience because I've never made a narrative project in my life. I'd like done documentary, commercial, music videos, but had never made up characters, never made up storylines and all this stuff. So it was really a completely different world that I wasn't used to doing. Watched a bunch of YouTube videos, listened to like the greats talk about stuff just to get me started. Wrote it, wasn't sure if it was any good or not. Wasn't sure if anyone would help me make the thing. Eventually found like a few people who enjoyed the script and wanted to make it possible. Brought it to the YouTube community, and they were willing to back it. Got some YouTube sponsors on board. Shot it in the summer of 2022, and then edited it, and now it's done, and we're showing it to you guys tonight.
We're so freaking excited.
We've been waiting for it, dude.
And like I've shown it a couple times now at screenings in Philly, New York. I showed it to like my college track team, which a lot of like the narrative stuff is based on. And like I still like just thinking about showing it to you guys tonight, I'm like cold sweating and like freaking out low key, just because you put years and years of your life into something. You didn't have the resources you wanted, so it's not perfect, which it's not. It's like so far from perfect. So I know like in my head showing something that's like not exactly what I wanted to people, like kind of freaks me out. But so far it's been like an overwhelmingly positive amount of feedback, which has been so cool. Like obviously I'm sure there's people out there who hate it. I got like one really nasty review on it already. But like
it seems insane.
I like prepared myself for like people to not like it. Like
those people are gonna exist.
Especially with movies, like people have grown up seeing movies their entire lives, so everyone thinks they're a critic of movies. So
they might have a certain expectation of like quality if they're going to the theater.
There's that, and it's also like this movie's not made for everyone. Who is it? Quentin Tarantino has a famous quote like, "I make movies for one person." It might not be Quentin Tarantino. It might be Denny.
It sounds like his style, though.
But he makes movies for one person. That's himself. And that was like the best advice that I could have saw when writing this. Like I truly like the jokes. Like you'll see the jokes in the movie are like, Danny would laugh at that, or like stuff like that. So like it's very much for like a very specific group of people. So. I think there's like a handful of people that are really going to love it, and it's like going to be something that like a top 5 movie for them for the rest of their lives. And then there's going to be a whole subset of people who, they're like, that was fine, which is cool. And there's going to be like a handful of people that absolutely hate it, which whatever,
It happens with everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like people like think Taylor Swift sucks, and like, she does not suck.
No, she does not.
She's like the greatest and one of the coolest people on planet Earth. And there's people that hate her.
Yeah.
So, not that I.
You are the
Taylor Swift. I've always put the two of you in the same category, actually.
Yeah, people have been calling me the Taylor Swift of YouTube filmmaking these days.
And now one person on Letterboxd has bad blood with you.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know like anything about this person, but. They really don't like me, apparently. I don't know what I did or whatnot.
They got really bad taste, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're not feeling 22 anymore.
Oh, my word.
No, certainly not. Yeah. I feel like I've aged 10 years in the last 2.5 in making this. It was so hard. Like making an indie feature, your first narrative project for the first time, it takes a lot out of you. Like so much sacrifice, like all my time. I took all of Anna and I's life savings that we'd saved up for a house and put it into the movie, convincing other people to give you money, like working with crew who and like trying to like express your vision exactly what you want and then not getting certain aspects. I don't know. There's just like so many hurdles to make something of this size. and it's just takes years off your life.
Yeah, man. You did all production for the film in 33 days?
Yeah, we had 21 days of full crew.
Full crew, okay.
And we had some splinter days with like doing pickup shots and stuff without the full crew.
Jeez.
So we were shooting like 6 to 8 scenes a day, which is like pretty unheard of, but not in the indie world. Like indie world, that makes sense. But,
Yeah.
you know, David Fincher sits down and shoots 1 scene a day, gets a million takes, has 8 cameras running, and gets like exactly what he wants. Like us, we set up, takes a little too long to set up. We get 1 take, and the actors just have to perform and like do their best shot on their first take, and then we got to wrap it up and move on to the next thing. And like having to also like think about like the shot lists for each scene, like through the day, everyone's looking at you like, what do I do next? What do I do next? And you have to have an answer right away for everyone, or it slows everything down. So having to have those thoughts of that many scenes per day, it's wild. And I'm like used to the YouTube channel too now, right? Like where I'm working with like 2 guys, maybe just myself and Sansa, who doesn't talk. And we're sitting there and like, you know, I kind of like make the decisions and like, that's what we do. But then you go onto the set with 40 people all trying to ask you what's next and like what to do. And it's like so overwhelming.
That makes my stomach turn just hearing you say that.
Yeah. I'm just like, there's the BTS stuff. And like, that's like a milder version of how I was feeling.
Okay.
Like every time the camera is on me, I like, even my eyes are bloodshot. Like I look like I just seen a ghost. Yeah. Like the whole drive home, every time I just would sit there and just like be like, I just screwed this entire thing up. And just like, that's all you can think about is like, wow, how am I going to like pull this together in the edit? And I don't know, you just don't get what you want. But then I sat down in the editing room and just figured it out, and everything worked like for the most part.
Yeah.
And like, that's like the coolest part about it for me is that it works. Like, I don't, whether it's like your favorite movie or not, like the movie works. And I originally wanted to make something like this first one as like a proof of concept, so I could take and show like people in the future, like, hey, I can make a movie.
Yeah.
And be like, oh yeah, like he's done it before. Let's give him money to make the next one. And the fact that it works, and there's people who have reached out saying that like they absolutely adore the movie and it's like meant so much to them. It's just like another level. Like my parents loved it. Like I didn't envision my parents liking this movie. Like when you're watching it, you're gonna be like, wow, like this is like some of these jokes. So like the fact that like I was looking over and like my dad's laughing at a stinky vagina joke, like is unbelievable, and like made me so happy, and like to see them proud of what I was able to make is cool. It's not all like, dick jokes, like the whole movie. There's a good balance between like really deep and like thoughtful, like mental health awareness and things along that line. But there's a really nice balance of like potty humor that I feel like the film just absolutely needed. Because if you're watching just like a straight up sad movie, like, come on. Like that's going to be just like so boring, or like such a downer of someone's hour and a half. Like you're watching a movie to be entertained at a certain point and escape from reality. So like giving people that balance, and also the mental health aspect, like sad people aren't always sad.
Sure.
Like some of the most depressed people that you would know are the funniest people that you would know, because they have such like this unique perspective on life that's like so self-deprecating. Which is ultimate, like at the end of the day, like very funny. And that's just like kind of who I am as a person. Like I can take it to a laugh, to like tears in like a split second, but with no in between too. And that's like kind of mental health and like anxiety and depression. Like the movie is very much structured like happy, sad with like very few in between scenes.
And I mean, going off of what you said, making movies for one person, like you have a lot of personal connection to both humor and mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a biography of Danny Gevirtz, like, but a lot of the ideas and like things that have happened to people that are really close to me in my life are things that I wrote about. And like, there's a whole element of like track and field and cross country that has nothing to do with the movie, but it's like a driver of the film. And it's like, I had that team, and that team is what really helped me get out of those darkest parts of my life. I was really struggling when I was a freshman in college. Like I quit the football team, like, which was like kind of my whole identity at that time. And just felt like very lost. Like I was already struggling and just felt like I had nothing. Cause like I had built this like construct of a world for myself and saw no way to escape or anything. And I know I was really losing myself, even though I did have like such a supportive family and friends. Like it doesn't matter. Like you just lose that. So for me to like lead the football team and find this new like community in the track and field team, like kind of like, it felt like it saved me for a lot of different reasons. I met my wife on that team. Like it's really like the start of a lot of good things. So there's like and like at the same time, like the cross country team is just like the goofiest group of kids that you'll ever meet in your entire life. So there's just so many good jokes to be made and like so many good experiences to pull from like that aspect of it. Like there's a scene that's called P&P night, porn and pasta, where the kids are just eating pasta, like watching porn, and just like that's a driver of the scene. Like the scene doesn't have to do with that, but that's like where they are in that part of the story.
I do vividly remember that part of the BTS that you put out. I was like, oh dang,
How do we style this room?
Yeah, a lot of immature, like there's like a little light up pegboard in the background and like lights up as a wiener. It's just like hilarious. Just gonna grab my water real quick.
man.
do your thing. Yeah.
Dry mouth Gevirtz over here.
Just smacking my lips.
Could not get enough water at Lou's last night. My goodness.
Our server would not give us refills.
No, dude, we're eating this deep dish. It's just absorbing all the liquid in our bodies. And I'm looking around, we're all on empty besides Steven, because this guy's a camel, apparently. But we're all just like dying for water. And like we're trying to get the waitress' attention, not coming. Like it got to the point where Eric had to walk over to the busboy and be like, hey, I know you're not our server, but could you please get us some water?
Our boy's dying over here.
I could not eat another piece of that butter crust, like without like a gulp of liquid. It was great. Like it was very filling. I know that's like a special place in your
It's like
heart.
a love letter to me right now.
Yeah, like I imagine like you're saying like it's your post marathon meal. Like I could not imagine running 26 miles and just having a fat deep dish at Lou's.
Yeah,
it's
man.
the best feeling probably. Yeah.
Plus, they got the best water in the city by like a mile.
Yeah.
So good.
Once you get it.
Yeah. Worth the wait.
Worth the wait for sure. How was the Coca-Cola? I know you were the outcast there.
It was great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On tap or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It looked like
It's like the only time I
Coke.
drink sodas at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had a soda.
I'm a bad boy.
I haven't had a soda in years.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like on a big seltzer kick,
Me too.
especially in like warm weather.
Forget about
I
it.
can't work if I don't have a seltzer just nibbling at my lips.
Do you have seltzer
You know?
on set?
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Oh,
yeah. It's like the only drink I have on set.
Okay.
Favorite seltzer brand right now?
Honestly, I love the cherry limeade from Polar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do love a good Spindrift because they have like the actual like fruit juice in it.
Yep.
Grapefruit
That's
one's
the bougie
good.
one.
The raspberry lime's good.
Yep.
Yeah, it is expensive.
You're not a
It
LaCroix
is.
guy.
A what?
LaCroix.
No.
Nah.
It's like it's the worst. I feel
Kirkland signature.
like. I do love a good Kirkland brand, but I haven't had it.
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you shop at Costco often?
Do I shop at Costco off?
You pull out your membership. It's like
it's in my
on one of
wallet.
those
Zip tie.
belt strings. It's like zzz.
For quick scanning purposes. All right, I'm good to go.
Oh man.
Family of 6 over here, of course.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Maybe we should do an episode 2 after the movie to get your guys' initial. I'm just booking myself for season 5. What season is this? 3?
4.
Technically, it's 4.
4?
Yeah.
And I was season 1.
You're season 1.
Yeah.
Was season 1 the best though?
It's pretty good.
It was awesome. Yeah.
It was the guest.
It's the
era.
heavy hitters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know who was on the
Yeah.
further ones.
Dude, all we know is you were there, so it's really all that matters.
You can be honest. Who was the highest views?
Oh, you.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
like for sure.
Oh, hell
like
yeah.
by a mile, actually.
Hell yeah! Let's get your numbies up, guys.
I'm not, no, actually, what's funny, on our YouTube channel, your episode, most views and also got us like a quarter of our watch hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah.
You monetized us, man.
Just a man of the people over here.
Well, we're hoping this.
I'm trying to become a co-host.
Yeah,
okay.
dude, regular.
just fly to Chicago
every
quarterly
now and
episodes.
then. Yeah, get down to the nitty gritty of what's really going on with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This podcast set has been like a field of dreams for us. Like,
Yeah, this is cool.
We build it.
Yeah, can they see the D's nuts thing?
on the wide angle?
Probably over there.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a beautiful little touch.
That one's just for
Oh,
you.
this is sweet.
Yeah, that's our
Ravenswood.
neighborhood. Yep.
Ravenswood, yeah. Chicago.
You guys got the rally caps, like you got all the branding for this, but you don't have it for the creative club.
I know. What's wrong with us?
Rally caps is a great name, by the way.
Thank you.
You could thank Steven for that one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm about to flip this inside out. You guys don't have hats, so we can't all do it.
Not yet. We
I usually wear a hat. Dang it.
Yeah, we need to. That's been on our to-do list for
Merch.
like last year and a half.
Yeah,
so.
next time we'll come in with the rally caps and dick tattoos that we promised. That was
hoping you'd remember that.
was that live on the last one or no?
No,
Or does that
I
need
think we
back
cut
cover?
right
that
one
was
out.
like the Patreon cut.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? It made it the Patreon cut.
I don't even know if it made it to the Patreon.
Oh, maybe
cut.
it didn't.
I don't know.
Yeah, we made a band as brothers to go out and get matching schlong tattoos. We still haven't decided on a design. So if there's any subscribers or anything out there who want to like submit, we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Try to keep it smaller than what you would think. Like not too big, like size 12 font, you know, for a variety of reasons, you know, pain tolerance and just, you know, average over here.
So 21 days of full crew production, 33 days total with
Splinters.
pickup shots.
I
and
don't even think we
splinters.
got to that far.
Really?
30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
During that time, with, you mentioned driving home. What
Yeah.
time was that? Usually 2 a.m.
Well, it depends. Like
Yeah.
some days you can't really go over 12-hour days without like going into overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some days it would be 9 to 9.
Yep.
Then there would be days where we would start at 4 and end at 4 in the morning, which was like always such a surreal feeling. Like you end the shoot, like everyone's sleeping, schedules thrown off. Like people are like going to work as you're leaving
Oh man.
set, and then you come in the next day at like 3-4 o'clock. That's like low key one of the hardest parts about scheduling or making a movie is scheduling. Like there's so many different factors. Like if you're doing an overnight shoot, you have to make sure it's not backed up against something else. So like you typically want to take your off day the next day or whatever it is. Like scheduling is
Try
like
to
this
recover.
massive puzzle, especially when you're at a low budget and you're taking whenever the locations give you, and you're just like working with them. You're working with talent. You're working with crew members, weather.
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
an endless amount of variables that are actively trying to screw your schedule.
Yeah.
We still were dealing with like COVID cases.
Yeah.
During production, we had a couple crew members who couldn't join us,
Oh my
and like a
gosh.
couple actors who fell out last second. Like we needed a waitress for the diner, and I think she came down with COVID. I forget her story.
Yeah.
But we were shooting that day. So we walked into like a local hair salon because that was kind of the look of like someone we were
Yeah.
looking for. And we asked someone if they wanted to be in a movie, and one like really
same
kind
day?
lady said yes. Yeah.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
And she was on set at like 2 a.m. because we had to wait for the diner to close down, and diners are open like all night.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We talked about how many days you're actually shooting. How many months or weeks of pre-production was involved to get to that point?
It's a lot. So as soon as I was done writing, it's basically like pre-production, like trying to figure out like a school that would host us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which was not many because it is an R-rated film.
Right.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times they want to read a script. You're like, all right, they're probably going to say no.
Yeah. You're like, oh, it's a middle school. Great.
Yeah. They're like,
Here you go.
is there nudity? And you're like, there's some butts. And that's usually a no.
Yeah.
And again, the script was like read through by mental health professionals who like deal with young kids who deal with, who are going through suicidal ideations all the time.
Yeah.
And like they read through the script, they work with me to make sure like nothing was overly triggering and like everything accurately represented these mental health issues.
Yeah.
So we had that letter of recommendation that we would bring to schools and stuff. But even so, like even with that, and like schools were like very afraid to like host something. And that's really why I wanted to make this movie, and like a movie that didn't pander to an audience that was about mental health. Like, I feel like that does more damage than not talking about it. Like, suicide is a very hush hush topic, and like no one, when it happens, no one knows how to talk about it or deal with it. I think that just creates more like alienating like space for the people going through it, because it's like, oh, it's like so taboo, and like there's something so severely wrong with me. Just like, hence the title, like, I think I'm sick. Like, I think there's something specifically wrong with me. And knowing that there's so many people out there dealing with it, and like people actively talking about it, it's so much more helpful for everyone going through it.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, getting a school was hard. I think we reached out to every single school within 30 miles of Philadelphia. Pat over there made like a spreadsheet, and like all you see is like red lines, like
my
schools
gosh.
saying no, no, no. And we finally found a great school district. It wasn't the exact aesthetic we were looking for, but they were willing to host us, and that was like so important.
Yeah.
They actually they had like scenes from Mayor of Easttown on HBO shot there, so they're like,
really?
pretty familiar with like the filming
Oh, wow.
situation, which was
that's so
helpful.
cool.
That's
yeah,
great.
they kind of just like gave us free range of the school for a month.
Yeah.
in the summer, which was cool.
And that's the same school that had the pool where a lot of those sequences were shot?
No, so the pool was separated.
That was separate,
because they
okay.
didn't have a pool. Yeah,
Okay.
we were really looking for a school that had everything we needed.
Yeah.
Good locker room, good shower, good, and it was so hard to get exactly what you wanted. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't even have a library that we could use.
Oh, wow.
So we had to outsource the library, had to outsource the pool.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and like their stadium wasn't connected to the high school. So like every time we had to do a company move to the stadium, that was like a 5-minute drive. Yeah, it was a lot, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're packing up a crew of 40,
Yeah.
they're setting up tents, crafty, like all the rigging equipment and whatnot. You're like chartering cast over, because whenever we had the stadium, we had the cross country teams, and that was
Yeah.
like, like 8 girls, 8 guys. Coach A, actually, the guy who plays the coach of the cross country team, the guy who plays him is not an actor. He's my actual coach from college.
Oh, no
he actually
way.
married us.
Yeah, at the wedding.
Yeah, he married us.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's
That's
the man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Yeah.
I hit him up. I was like, hey, I have a small role in the film. Do you want to be a part of it? He thought it was going to be like a cameo. And he has like a lot of lines. He's like an active member of the film, which he was not expecting. So
my
he came
gosh.
out, and it was his acting debut. But I think he's stoked to be a part of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was loving it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I mean, with how intense it was physically, emotionally, every component, what was it like for Anna in this process?
It was hard for her.
Yeah.
Like, I think the hardest thing for her is like seeing me like going out, like doing my dream, and like she was at home watching Sansa, and like kind of felt like she wasn't a part of it, which was sad. And like we barely got to see each other.
yeah.
And like, she's my world. Like, this movie doesn't happen without like the unconditional love and support from her. Like, to have your spouse like let you spend all of our money on this movie that has absolutely like no like guaranteed chance of succeeding, and just like she's with me like writing where I'm just like hitting a wall and like telling myself, this is it, I can't do this, like this isn't for me. She's always there just like encouraging me and make me feel like I can, and like she makes me feel like a superhero, honestly. And like, it's the best. Like I there's no way any of this would have happened without someone like her. And the first time she was the first person who saw the finished product, and I kind of kept the script from her. Like, she saw the trailer when it was done, but like she didn't really know too much about the film. Like, I kept it from her because I wanted her to like really like see the film for the first time and enjoy
I
it.
couldn't do that.
Yeah, and we sat down in my basement. I got like a kick-ass like TV and speakers. It's like a little movie theater down there, and played it. And like she was like sniffling, like crying, like laughing the entire time. And that moment for me was like, oh yeah, this was all worth it. Like, even if no one else likes it, like the fact that like my best friend in the world like really loves what we made and is proud of me is so cool. Yeah.
So you make films for one person.
Not me, Anna. Yeah, I make films for Anna. Well, we're like the same person. Yeah, at this point, yeah. Sansa's seen it like 1,000,000 times. She was in the editing bay with me, just like could care less at this point. It's funny because like every time she is like, never mind, not gonna spoil it. That was a spoiler. But yeah, she's she's in the editing room with me constantly. So every time we're watching it, she's like, ugh, this again.
Dad, anything else?
Yeah.
You got anything else for me today?
Yeah. We were watching it with, I showed the two leads, Connor and Tia, who play Robin and Will in the movie for the first time in my basement. And poor Tia's trying to watch it, and Sansa's just licking her hand. Like, I'm like, Sansa, stop. Like, let her watch it. It's just so cute. She unfortunately couldn't make it to the screenings.
I know.
Yeah.
We were low-key disappointed about that.
I know.
Yeah.
She was at the first, like, little one with Bucknell Track and Field.
Okay.
And I think it was like everyone was talking to you afterwards, and it was just a lot for her. So,
Yeah.
a lot of traveling around. And she could have made it, but she's better off at home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anna
she's
was
more
able to come to some of the screenings so far?
She was able to come to Philly, but she'll be in LA.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So LA's gonna be cool. We have like people who could potentially buy the film coming, like distributors, and we have Lawrence Sher coming. He's like the DP of The Joker, and like
That's surreal.
Black
man.
Adam, like The Hangover, Garden State, which is like a low key like one of my favorite movies.
Incredible. Yeah.
So like
Gosh.
that's like I know he'll appreciate it because like he didn't start out making Marvel films. He
Right.
started out like making Garden State and like, like very like drama films that are like very simple and low key.
Yep. I feel like passion projects.
Yeah, so hopefully he likes it. Like it's gonna suck if he hates it. He watches like, yo, this is so dumb. Just like ruins my life.
You've known him for a little bit now because I think you mentioned that he started Shot Deck,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he started Shot Deck, which is like the coolest. Am I about to do an ad
Another
read?
ad read?
No, it seriously
That
is
actually
sick.
did feel like a lead-in for an ad read.
Yeah, it seriously is like a great company. Yeah, you can check it out. I'm not gonna explain what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the owner of Shot Deck, and I think he's really trying to like put a lot into it. And they sponsored the behind the scenes series in the movie.
So cool.
So he's like kind of got the gist of what was going on. He said, well, I had an initial call with him, and he's like, man, I really respect what you're doing. I was like, what, really? Like my biggest concern with like switching from traditional filmmaking to going to the YouTube channel was like, would everyone like in that world like think I was like a dork or like not take me seriously from then on out? And to see that like Lawrence Sher, like the guy who's at the top of his game in the film industry, like respect what I'm doing. And like, he was like, it's so cool that you can just go out and make whatever you want. Like, I wish I could do more of that. I was like, what? Like,
Wow.
I wish I had $150 million to make a movie, you know, like let's trade worlds for a day.
Hey, if Joaquin wants to read a script, I'm down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this guy's like, it took a while for him to answer his email about coming to the screening. And he's like, yeah, I just got done like Joker 2, like hanging out with Lady Gaga and Joaquin. You know? It's like, oh man, rough life, dude. Yeah, so he's coming off that set and then coming to our film. That's like this like very small, like contained film.
Yeah, that's
with
surreal.
no well-known actors. Like I'm not a well-known director, no big name producers. Like it's very much an indie film.
That's incredible.
So if he likes it, it'll be life-changing. If he doesn't, you know, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Can you speak a bit on how Maddie got involved in EPing?
Yeah, Matty Hapoya, the guy's like a guardian angel, man. Like this movie doesn't get made without him. We had like funding from myself, like my buddy Tyler, who's also Maddie's manager. The YouTube audience had donated. So we had like
Just pulling from
we
half
had
a dozen
We had a good
piles.
amount of money, but we didn't have enough to like make the thing. We had a target number in mind, and I sent the script to Maddie, who we've been friends with just from YouTube.
Yeah.
And he was, I guess, looking to like start getting into executive producing and like start like being that guy that like helps young filmmakers make their thing, which is like what a saint, right?
Yeah.
So Tyler shared the script with him, and I like shared the story, the backstory, and everything that was involved with it. He read the script. He's like, "Yeah, like, how do I give you my money?" And he came in and just like paid off the rest of it. And yeah, it's like, okay, we can make the movie now. We set a date to make it, and we were good to go.
That's
so like,
insane.
Without someone like him, like, you know, people like us like don't get to make stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool too because he was like the person where like I was like figured out I was interested in this thing. I was like, how do I like shoot in 60 frames per second? How do I like what camera should I get? And like Maddie was the guy that I was watching.
Yeah.
So to share like the biggest project that I've made with him is such a special thing.
Yeah.
Like I actually got to go to a studio in Toronto the other day, and standing there felt like a movie set. Like I've seen this a million times, and like I was geeking out. We got to meet, like hang out with Peter in like Newmarket, and it's like such a cool like took me back to like, wow, like I came a long way to be here and like hang out with these guys.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Adds like another incredible dimension to the whole process of this too, that it's all like crowdfunded and subscriber based.
Yeah, it's
and
like a YouTube movie.
Yeah, like for another prolific YouTuber to come in and EP it is just unreal.
Definitely.
Feels like it's just kind of opening up new possibilities and new doors.
Yeah, and there's like, I'm sure there's been YouTubers who have made their own films and stuff like that, but no one really from like this niche that we're in, right?
Yep.
And like this niche that we're in are like, we're the guys that are like trying to make videos and stuff.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it's cool. It's cool to like kind of like help lead the charge, and hopefully like the movie does do well and opens up doors for people, and like the major film festivals take us seriously, and like other people do, because usually it's like the people in front of the camera who have the audience, and now it's like the people who are behind the camera are what the people are interested in. Well, not necessarily. Like, you know, you got your guys at the top that like, everyone's going to see a Christopher Nolan film, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like no one really knows anything about Christopher Nolan, right?
Yeah.
Like, does he have a dog? I don't know. I assume not.
They certainly don't know what kind of dog it is or what their name is.
He probably has like a farm with like 10 dogs, and like cattle, and like, but like, I don't know. It's cool to like know so much about the filmmaker going into watching their film.
Yeah. It's so much more
Like
personal.
you'll see so much of me in this movie. It is my YouTube videos on like a much bigger scale, a little more R-rated, because like YouTube, you can't really do those things, but it's fun to be able to like freely express who I am finally. Like you guys know me, like I like joking around like that. You can't,
tattoos.
you can't talk about dick tattoos on your YouTube channel.
It's, I mean, what I told you yesterday is I jokingly told you about how I turned to Steven the other day and I was like, Steven, what if the movie sucks? And you were like, first off, you were like, well, if you think that, don't tell me.
And
I'm
it's
like, okay, but
good to know.
But like, I then responded to you and I was like, there's no possible way I could dislike it.
Yeah.
Sure, it might not be my favorite movie of all time or whatever, but the fact that you're stepping up to the plate and making something, having the relatability we have to each other, with having a lot of the same roots, pursuing a very similar thing. It's just like, how could I not be so stoked for you?
Exactly. Yeah, I can promise anyone, like, you're not going to walk into this and be like, this is the best thing that's ever been made. Like, zero chance. But I also can promise it's not going to be the worst thing that you've ever watched. Which is good. But like I said, like there's a small group of people that are going to absolutely love this thing. And I think you guys like might fit into that group. I hope so.
A very strong feeling that will be the case.
And like you'll see the indie flaws, or maybe you won't, but like there are flaws, and like that's just like what happens when you're making your first project. And like the thing about this is like so many people get to like, you know, whatever career path they go through, like they get to like create their first thing or do it their first time in like private and fail in private, and the stakes are so much lower. Like my dad's a dentist. Like the first time he like filled a cavity on someone, like he didn't have an audience watching it. I mean, granted, if he like killed the person, that would have been an issue. But like, you know, this is my first time doing this, and here I am like showing it to packed theaters and like showing the world, and like it's a very public failure if people don't like it, and that's like a hard thing to swallow. And it's kind of prohibits you from wanting to make or try again. So just like the little bit of kind words I've been getting from people, and like, you know, the positive reaction definitely like helps me like get through that. Even though there are like a few like really nasty things that people will say, like the good will always like help you get past that.
100%.
So that's when like people are like, what if I don't like it? I'm like, just don't tell me. Like I would rather not know, because I know what's wrong with the movie. Like trust me, I know what's wrong with this film. Like I wrote it, directed it, edited it. I've seen it 1 trillion times. Like I know what I would do differently. Like I can't like knock myself as a first time writing a movie. Like
for sure.
And like I always think like the older you get, the better of a writer you get because you gain more life perspective and like you become more mature. Like I wrote this when I was 27, which is like so young to make your first feature film. So young. And like, I don't know, like even at 29, I'm like, oh yeah, like I definitely like am more mature of a writer than I was then. And I can't even imagine like when I'm 40, like how much better I'll be as a writer. So it's just like, you just got to do the first one. And like, how would you even know if you can do it if you don't try the first one? So be able to get in the can at such a young age and have like so much runway ahead of me to make the next few is cool. I always say like, I'm going to try and make 5 and be done. Retire. So hopefully by the 5th one, that's the best.
Are you even letting yourself think about the next project now?
I mean, I have like so many ideas written down. Like I have like 4 working concepts with actual scenes that I've written out.
Wow.
Whoa.
But like, no, it's hard to like zone in on one.
Okay.
I kind of have it set up. So if like someone does like want to help me and like what ideas you have, I'll like show them a list and like they'll pick which one they want to like help make or something.
Cool.
Where do you put all those ideas?
My phone for one.
I was trying to get you to do a Milanote, Henry.
I do back up my phone on Milanote, like all my ideas.
Milanote's even on the poster for the movie.
Yeah, it is.
We just noticed that today when we were printing it.
Well,
sick.
They gave a ton of money.
Awesome.
So they're basically an association producer.
Amazing.
Of the film.
Very cool.
It's
so
like
cool,
that
dude.
like a YouTube sponsorship, a brand like is willing to come in and like be a part of something bigger, and they recognize like how important that is for their brand too. To be a part of something like this.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I was gonna say something else. What were we just talking about before Milanote?
I don't know.
Oh, ideas for stuff.
Oh yeah. Other working concepts.
Every time
right now.
something funny happens in my life, like it's written down like for years, and like some of those scenes have like worked their way into my work and stuff. Like the other day, it was finally nice out, and I was walking to the bank just because I had to drop off a huge check for the movie, just pour more money into the movie. It's crazy. It's like every time you go to the bank, you're like buying a car. Just like, all right, here's another 30 grand. Yeah, I know. It's like, it's crazy. But anyway, I was going to the bank, nice day out. I was like, I'm going to wear shorts today. First time of the season, rocking some shorts. Walking up to the door, this old lady's coming out. She like doesn't even look at me. She's like walking by. She's like, nice legs. And she just like walks by. And I was like, what? Like, I wasn't sure if she was being pervy. Like, she was making fun of me for wearing shorts, or maybe she was like, yeah, those are some great legs, brother. So like, I wrote that down. I'm excited to like use that for something somewhere along the way.
I can't wait for that to show up as an Easter egg in a future film. I assume you're going to write a scene about a guy with a very dry mouth eating deep dish.
Probably. And then on the next day in the podcast, he's got a drier mouth.
And he's nearly out of water again.
I'm just milking this blender bottle. But I just have like I showed you one earlier about the drummer. Yeah, I just have like loads of like little skits in my phone I think are hilarious that will probably never see the light of day too. But
that's a good practice even just to get those down.
Yeah. I got a laugh value, so maybe I'll make it.
That's really funny.
Logistically, I don't know how I would shoot it though.
Yeah.
It's a hard short film. You'd have to do like some kind of passing of time, but this is terrible podcasting. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Just well, that's the hard thing about short films and those kinds of ideas is like actually figuring out the logistical components of it. Like it could be a fantastic idea, but you're like, well, if it involves this many people and this much time, it's going to require money. And then like, is it actually worth it?
Exactly. Yeah. For someone to just chuckle.
Right. And you're like, oh, it could be a great YouTube video, but you're like, do I really want to commit that much time, energy, and money into a 2-minute short?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of return does that really give? Or should I keep writing the script of my next feature film?
Yeah, exactly.
And should this just be a scene in it?
Yeah, you know? Definitely. And that's like the hard thing too right now is like, I want to try to write the next one, but I have to pay for my life and like recoup. Like there's no guarantee someone's going to buy the movie or whatever, and I'm going to make my money back. So I'm making YouTube videos still, like making short films. So I can make like a breakdown after where I can use that breakdown video to host the sponsorship who pays for like my living in like those short films. So Yeah. YouTube's hard.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially like this is year 6 of being on it for me. And it's just tiring.
Yeah.
Like just constantly churning out content. Like I love posting like stuff like when I'm pumped about it and like I like put a lot of work into like a specific project.
Yeah.
When I'm like making videos just to post, it is so brutal.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Artists shouldn't live that way.
Yeah, exactly. But then I think about it as like, all right, like better than like working at the bank or, you know, sorry if you're working at a bank. I didn't mean to like dig at you. It might be sick, you know? Like, damn, sorry.
Had to get one at least.
There's some guy right now on his bank job. He's like, oh, fuck.
I gotta
And
quit.
an old ladies gave him a compliment on his legs as he walked in.
Yeah, you might get a nice compliment if you wear shorts to work next day.
Well, we're well over an hour, so we'll
Oh, definitely.
we'll let you go.
Yeah, hopefully that was comprehensive for y'all.
That was fantastic, man.
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the movie tonight.
Dude, can't wait.
We will.
If you want to do like a 10-minute feedback to tack on to the end of the not feedback as in like giving feedback. If you like the film and you want to
Just
talk about
jump
it,
on at the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
or we can even like do it like when I'm at home.
That'd be amazing.
Just tack it on to the end of the episode.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But if you don't like it, let's scrap it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be the sign. If we record
yeah.
anything, we loved
Yeah,
it.
if the podcast ends here, they did not enjoy the movie. All right.
Thanks for
fellas.
doing this, man.
No, thank you.
It's hard to keep this under wraps. We're really excited about this.
Yeah. I can't wait for season. I guess we're doing this like every
7.
4 seasons you're having me on. So I guess 9 I'll be on. But hey, I'll be on every season.
We're trying to catch up with Survivor right now.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh man,
Wait.
don't get him going on Survivor.
Do you watch Survivor?
No.
Dude. Do you guys watch
Reality
Survivor?
TV.
Anyone in this room? You guys are all missing out on quality television. I like can't watch narrative stuff right now because like I compare myself constantly and that just like stresses me out when I'm trying to relax at night. I'm like, oh man, they're so much better than me. But so we always watch like reality TV and just like get lost in like, you know,
Nonsense.
26 days on Fiji with Jeff Probst, you know? So me and Anna, like Wednesday nights or when Survivor's on, we get Chick-fil-A milkshakes, like make it a thing every Wednesday night. And
That's sick.
that's why I love
awesome.
her. We have the best life together. Definitely get married if you get the chance. It's killer. Yeah, shout out Sansa too. I didn't give her enough love.
We love you, Sansa.
Yeah, love you, girl. Daddy will be home soon. I know right now she's like, my dad will be back any second. She's looking out the window and it's just breaking my heart. But
Well, we love you, man.
Yeah.
love you more.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sweet guys.